Modern shonen often look up to One Piece as their inspiration and guide. Anime such as Demon Slayer incorporate a lot of themes from that grand pirate epic. The Hashira in the world of Demon Slayer are the final frontier of humanity in their war against the demons. They each have distinct abilities and personalities that give the series life. Imagine if these figures were part of the One Piece world, operating as a pirate crew on the testing waters of the Grand Line. What kind of pirate crew would they have? Would they operate as warlords of the sea acting on behalf of the world government? Or would they be Yonkos aiming to create their own world? Perhaps they are pirate warriors of justice working in cahoots with the Revolutionary Army. Let's look into what a pirate crew consisting of the Hashira would look like in the One Piece world. Starting off with the captain of this pirate crew, we have Kyojuro Rengoku, the late Flame Hashira. Yes, you might be confused since Rengoku isn't the strongest Hashira and his role in the Demon Slayer series was cut short by his early demise. However, the world of One Piece is perfectly suited for the eccentric yet dutiful Flame Hashira. In this world, the crew Rengoku leads would be the embodiment of his personality: fiery, enthusiastic, empathetic, and diligent. He would have a rebellious life and would come into direct and frequent conflict with the Marines, especially figures like Admiral Akainu, who stand for order and perfect justice. Rengoku as the captain would bring with him an ideology of rebellion and liberation, frequently freeing slaves and toppling tyrannical kings allied with the government. His crew would be unpredictable and imbibed with Rengoku's own vision of liberation. In terms of his power, Rengoku would have perfect mastery over observation haki and armament haki, be very astute tactically, and very agile and quick in his combat. Possessing the Flame Fruit, Rengoku would be feared across the world government and rival pirate crews, as a ruthless and erratic pirate captain whom no one can mess with. His control over the Conqueror's haki will turn him into a constant source of anxiety for the world government who fear his will and are mostly helpless against his massive ambitions. As one of the few individuals in the world who can weaponize all three forms of haki and possess with them an incredibly powerful devil fruit, just the mere mention of Rengoku is terrifying enough to his enemies, harboring with him the dream to become a great pirate who can use his ability to bring happiness to a world suffocating under the feet of world government oppression. Rengoku would often come into conflict with pirates like Blackbeard or Big Mom, who do not share his ideological conviction. On the other hand, he would be a strong ally to Monkey D. Luffy's Straw Hat crew and an invaluable ally to the Revolutionary Army as well. However, he would never join the latter organization since Rengoku's rebellious attitude would make him very impatient with a methodical body like the revolutionaries. Owing to his ideological animosity towards the world government and his sheer strength, Rengoku might have a bounty of around 3 billion berries, nearing the level of a Yonko. That's the captain. A crew with an eccentric captain requires a level-headed and cool first mate who is able to handle their captain's high maintenance. This role will be occupied by Giyu Tomioka, the Water Hashira. His calm demeanor, expert control over swordsmanship, and stoic personality makes him the perfect candidate for such a position. As first mate, Giyu will be the voice of reason and logic for the crew, tempering the feistiness and impulsiveness of Rengoku's captaincy. Giyu won't just be a cliched stone-cold pirate though. As a Hashira, he has shown protectiveness, patience, and guidance to his allies and friends. It was Giyu who refused to kill the demon Nezuko only because of Tanjiro, then a random teenager to him who is begging for his sister's life. This also shows that Giyu has a very strong empathetic side to him, which would allow him to be a very good mentor to the rest of the pirate crew. The Water Hashira would resemble Zoro of the Straw Hats in his abilities. As an expert swordsman who can cut through anything, he would, in the One Piece world, have the goal to become the world's strongest swordsman, being Zoro's main competitor in this struggle. His outfit and facial characteristics also resemble those of the samurai of Wano country, especially due to his ruffled hairstyle and red haori. As a resident of that secret island, Giyu might have a lineage that traces back to legendary swordsmen like Ryuma as well. This would explain his mastery over all three forms of haki, or ryo as the citizens of Wano call it. Giyu's observation haki, in our world, is second to none, and his ability to track movements is so inhumanely precise that he can cut down an imperceptible fly without as much as blinking an eye. This would also mean that he has no need for a devil fruit. His shoddy past, ruthless nature, and affinity towards rengoku would earn Giyu a bounty of around 2 billion berries at the very least. Every pirate crew needs a navigator, especially in the deadly and chaotic waters of the Grand Line. For our Hashira crew, Shinobu Kocho makes for the perfect pick for our crew's navigator and doctor. Her intellect and agility is the solid foundation upon which the crew orders itself and sticks together. Shinobu lacks the natural-born combat skills her fellow Hashira possesses, but she more than makes up for it with her medical expertise, her tactical astuteness, and her enhanced agility. In the Demon Slayer anime, Shinobu put her medical skills to use by creating an anti-kibutsuji drug. These medical powers of her are complemented by her creative use of the insects. She can use them in service of the crew by sensing shifting weather conditions, sight enemies at a distance, and chart the best course of action accordingly. In the One Piece world, Shinobu would possess the insect fruit, which allows her to create and manipulate insects to her will. Despite these abilities, Shinobu's lack of physical threat would make her a liability at times, especially in the heat of battles. This would mean her bounty has little standing in comparison to the first mate, with whom she would definitely share a sibling relationship even in the One Piece world. As an estimate, her bounty would range around the 500 million berry mark. Speaking of low bounties, the Hashira crew in our world could not simply exclude non-Hashira Demon Corps members such as Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. In this crew, they would serve as apprentices, similar to how Buggy the Clown and Shanks traveled alongside the Roger Pirates. They would receive constant guidance by the Elder Hashira, but not possess any official positions, and have very little physical strength to hold their own against the big guns of the New World. They would have very low bounties, with Tanjiro at an 80 million, while Nezuko and Zenitsu will sit at 40 million berries each. However, their potential would be massive, and Nezuko in particular is prone to being underestimated by the world government, on account of being the cook of the ship. In any case, their lack of devil fruits and childlike mannerisms wouldn't make them that much of a threat to the enemies of our Hashira crew. Moving on, every ship needs its own Sanji, a flirty cook who hides behind his flashy demeanor, formidable strength, and an incredibly empathetic personality. This is, of course, Tengen Uzui, the Sound Hashira. His larger-than-life personality and sharp senses collaborate with his mastery over sound-based attacks and his expert listening skills. In this new world, our flamboyant Hashira and the CEO of Flashiness is a former worker at the Baratier, having developed a playful rivalry with Sanji during their time in the restaurant. Having been inspired by the likes of Chef Zeph, Tengen is an incredibly gentlemanly and flashy individual who has a very soft spot for women, becoming overprotective when the need arises. He also carries over from Demon Slayer his passion for music, which adds further color and relaxation to a crew full of formidable fighters. Tengen himself isn't lacking in strength. Combined with these talents, he also has a mastery over all three hakis and owns the Hear fruit, a paramecia devil fruit that enhances his hearing abilities and makes him extremely sensitive to his immediate surroundings. These would help him be both a great caretaker for those who shy away from fighting and when the crew needs some respite, and excellent musician as well. For these reasons, Tengen has a bounty of 1.2 billion berries. Next up, we have the likes of Sanemi Shinazugawa and Muichiro Tokito, two skilled fighters that form together with Giyu the three arms of Rengoku's pirate army. Sanemi possesses the wind fruit, which allows him to manipulate the weather around him and enhance the crew's advantage. However, his DF ability is only limited to small skill changes in the wind, and serves only to strengthen his primary skill, that of a sharpshooter. Sanemi isn't just a long-range sniper though. He is someone who can use his revolver, harness the wind, and engage in small-range combat using his dagger with such ruthlessness that it makes him the brute force of the Hashira pirates, a force truly unlike any other. His bounty stands at 1.6 billion and is constantly increasing. On the other hand, Muichiro Tokito is placed as the elegant archaeologist of our crew. carrying with him the mist fruit. Muichiro is not just extremely powerful, but also specializes in stealth and strategy. While Sanemi goes on a rampage, Muichiro slowly and tactfully takes out his enemies with as little bloodshed as possible. On top of these qualities, Muichiro is also a skilled historian, and one of the few remaining people who can read the ancient language of the poneglyphs. This makes him especially problematic for the world government and earns him a bounty of 1.8 billion berries. Finally, Mitsuri Kanroji, the love Hashira, is placed on our Hashira Pirates crew as the crew therapist. Her expert mastery over hockey makes her a formidable adversary for enemy pirates, and her fruit, the love fruit, allows her to not just use her katana for emotional attacks that carry a weight uniquely different from general sword attacks, but also she can use this fruit to spread positivity and optimism and allow the crew to remain focused on their mission while being mentally healthy. The Serpent Hashira enters our list as the cold-blooded and fearless assassin of the crew. In our world, Obanai has control over observation and armament hockey and possesses the snake fruit. The fruit enables him to command all sorts of reptiles to his absolute will and makes him a frightening opponent, a brilliant spy, and a generally unsettling personality. He usually mocks others in the crew for their weakness, but his undying loyalty for Rengoku, who saved him at a time where the entire world abandoned him, makes him a formidable ally for the crew. Gyomei is the Hashira crew's shipwright. The stone Hashira carries with him a calm yet sensitive temperament which translates into his undying affection for the crew and their ship. He is also a former resident of Water 7, the ship workers' island, and is inspired by individuals like Tom and Frankie who made durable ships for legendary pirate crews. This inspiration catalyzes for Gyomei the desire to create a ship that houses the strongest pirate crew and which can travel through any storm and through any obstacle. This would lead to the creation of the cruise ship, the Crimson Moon, a black and red ship that is spacious and carries within it the capacity for flight, stealth, and numerous other abilities. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to be notified of any latest uploads. That said, see you in the next one.